Oh, good. Jaden Skeet.
I asked for him, local kid, teams in the Super Bowl next week.
That's great. He's playing.
Yeah.
You know. All right, guys. Let's try to get this. I feel like it's already Wednesday, so let's try to get right to Pitt as fast as we can. We've put that one behind us, and shoot, we've already met, and we're on our way to Pitt. We're leaving in 2 days. You coming?
I'm watching though.
You know I got a high school game.
I'm just joking. All right, go ahead.
Well, we two's got one more thing.
Go ahead.
600 yards of offense for Pitt, Virginia Tech. I imagine that is the focus this week, getting ready for Pitt, cutting that number in half or even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about the yards, Rich. It's about
Yeah.
the points. It's about how we played as a team, and I think everything we did led to that. I told you, you get 3 takeaways early in the game like that, and you give them 3 extra possessions, and they get the ball a heck of a lot more, and then we don't stop them, we don't tackle well, we don't play well. I saw it pretty clear on game day. We've got to clean it up. It's been very unlike us for a long time, and we need to play better. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know, the guys know that, the coaches know that. We're all in it together, and we will.
One more thing about Elijah Jones. I know Saturday you said it's probably done for the year, all that. Don't expect details, but a week ago we were talking about his draft stock rising. So just how much can you expand on it? And I guess it wasn't injury related or no?
No, I mean, I think I answered my question pretty clearly when you asked, and I respect that you're asking again. I think Elijah's had a great year. He's going through something right now, and he's more than likely going to be out.
Okay.
So I ask that everyone kind of respects that right now. I've been really honest with you guys throughout, and I'll continue to do that. I mean, we've got Sheeta out for the year. We got Garwo out for the year. We got Takis now out for the year. JB Blackwell, he's out for the year, so you guys can cross him off the depth chart. I'm not sure if we gave you another depth chart. I'm trying to think anyone else I could expand on. We got some guys bumped up in that game that we're waiting to see where they're at. Kai practiced today. I thought we'd have him back last week. Disappointed we didn't, but he had to battle through something, and he's ready to go now. Anybody else I'm missing there on the injuries? Say it again.
Ryan?
Ryan will be out for the year. Yeah, so we've missed, in the grand scheme of things, you missed Ryan O'Keefe at wide out, you missed Garwo at running back, George at tight end, Sheet at defensive end. Obviously Bryce will remain out for the year, and JB now will be out for the year. And we'll have the next guy step up and do the best that we can. We got a lot of young guys playing right now, but it's just I haven't wanted to talk about a lot of the injuries. I want to, the guys that go out and step up, they got to play, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Is Skeet one of those guys?
Yeah, Skeet is one of those guys. If you look at what Skeet did the last 2 weeks, he's a young guy who's starting to play really well. Max Tucker, same high school. I mean, Max has started now in multiple games, and he's seen significant playing time. Reed Harris got in the game. Nate Johnson got in the game. So a lot of those guys are stepping up, which is really nice to see. And that's how it has to be. And that's why I didn't want to make excuses after the Virginia Tech game. I mean, we got beat, and we'll get better. And are we disappointed? Yeah. Are we discouraged? No, because we'll get better. And other guys are going to have to step up and play well.
To that point, we talked earlier, pretty much during camp, how you were kind of staging late practice or later sessions in practice for those young guys. Is that where this starts to pay off now?
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to coaches' jobs are to get guys ready to play. It's not just, and we learned that last year, and I said it earlier this year, you got to develop your young guys, and that's on coaches. We recruited them, we brought them in, and we got to speed them up. They need to know the scheme, and we got to develop their fundamentals and their technique, and eventually their time's going to come. Kai's a great example. He was like 4th string on our depth chart, and now we're holding on, hoping he can rush it for another 20, 30 times in a game. Guys got to get ready, and coaches got to get them ready, and that's really important because everybody's banged up right now. So you can either use it as an excuse or you just roll with it and figure out how to win with whoever's on the field, and they're all our players. So let's coach them up and have confidence in them, and let's go play with them.
A couple questions on Dino, if you have a minute. Just what does he mean to the team overall, and just what makes him special?
No, it's cool that you asked, right? Because we're going back to a Pittsburgh kid. I know Coach and their family would probably be pretty excited. I know deep down he's probably pretty excited. I mean, you guys have been around him. He's probably a guy you should talk to this week. He's just, I mean, he's such an unbelievable kid. He's got positive energy. He pushes himself. He studies the game. He works his butt off. He blocks. You know, he catches the ball when it's thrown to him. I think he's having a really good year. I think he's a really good football player. I think he's a phenomenal kid. And I think he's such a great guy. I mean, he could be a captain of our team the way he is. And I'm really glad that we have him for so many reasons. I mean, he's like Mr. Reliable, right? I mean, you can always count on him. He's always going to be out there. He's always going to do everything he can. And then he's going to go and make plays. So he means a lot to this team. And I'm sure he's excited to go back and play, you know, in a stadium that he's probably been in a lot. And, you know, maybe he played in it in high school in a championship game because they play the championship games there. You'd have to ask him that question.
Can you tell he's the coach's son?
Yeah.
How so?
Sits in the front, takes notes, serious, focused, locked in. When you call it up, he's right in front on a knee, looking at you right in the eye. Disciplined, detailed, loves ball, you know, handles adversity well. He's been well trained. And that's a credit to his mom and dad, too. And, you know, but it doesn't always go like that, so give him credit, too. Anything else on Dino?
That's good. Thanks.
Jeff, I'm doing something on Vinnie. What has he meant to you, not necessarily on the field, but off the field in terms of helping create the culture that you need to create the program that you want?
Yeah, I mean, he represents BC football. He's tough, he's gritty, he works at it, he plays with passion. And no one's going to outplay him as far as how hard he plays and how tough he plays. He's smart, he studies the game, he's a role model off the field, he does well in school. He's an unbelievable human being, and he is a tough, tough dude. I wish we could get him back for a 7th year. Yeah, I actually did because he had an injury, but it was during COVID, so you can't combine, you can't double dip on COVID. But I'd hire him tomorrow to coach. That's how highly I think of him.
Is he an extra coach on the field?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. On the sideline, on the fields, in the classroom, for the young players. It's nice to have guys like that around. He is such a good program guy, and then he's a great player.
Do you think he'll end up being a coach?
Yeah, I think he'll try to continue to play, and then, you know, his dad's a coach, another coach's kid, and then I do think he'll get into it. You know, it depends what the lifestyle he wants to live. You know, he's got a great degree, could probably go make a lot of money pretty quickly, but I think his passion is in football, so I would be shocked if he did not.
And one final question, this is actually on the game. What is the thing you have to worry about most and prepare for most on a short week like this?
Just your preparation. You get limited reps, so you kind of got to shrink your plan in some aspects, and then you can't show them everything that you'd like to. So it's being really detailed, having a really tight plan, so you don't give them too much, and because you can't practice at all. Making sure they're fresh. You really worry about that because a lot of guys are banged up, and you can't go out and put shoulder pads on and start banging into each other. So tight plan, be fresh, and it hits you really quickly. So we did a really good job, I thought, for the Syracuse short week. This one's shorter by 1 day. We're kind of sticking to the same schedule, so I think it helps that we kind of had a mini version. We had a version of this, but short weeks can be tough, you know, tough on the bodies and tough mentally. And they still got school and everything else going around, so it's not like in the NFL you're just doing football all the time. You can be there all day, you know, and then for the coaches, today's really in a normal game week already. Today's, what is today, Monday? Today's really Wednesday, so you're really 2 days ahead, so you got to be careful, you know.
Just one more real quick. Months ago, we all thought this would be the Djokovic week. It's clearly not anymore. Do you still talk to him at all, or do you even just text here and there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Phil and I have a really good relationship. I really like Phil. He's a great person. He's a good football player. You know, we thought this would be the week he'd be playing, obviously, quarterback. He's not, but, I mean, he's going to go on and do great things. I'm excited to see him.
Let's go to Pitt. I'm just kind of looking at near the bottom in scoring offense. What can you exploit as a defense? How do you keep them, under 20 points?
Well, they've been banged up front, and they've been playing with a variety of different offensive linemen, tight ends. They've played multiple quarterbacks now, I think 3 different quarterbacks. Their receiving group's really good. I think they're a really solid group. I think they're one of the better ones as a unit that we've played. They got some athletic tight ends. Obviously, Coach Signetti being there, we're familiar with the offense. He's familiar with our defense. Obviously, he's expanded in the 2 years he's been away, as have we. But you look, I mean, they did some good things against Florida State, and they beat Louisville. So they're more than capable. And I think in college football, I mean, you better show up. I mean, you look around the country every week. You better show up every single game and be ready to go. And don't look at records and don't look at who's supposed to win. You better go out and you better play and you better execute at a high level. You better take care of the football and you better execute your fundamentals and your techniques. So they got good players. They've won a lot of games there. Coach Narduzzi's done a really good job. I mean, he's won the ACC. He's had 9-10 win game seasons, and they got a good staff. I mean, Charlie Partridge I was with for a long time. Their D-line coach, I think he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around, and he's a phenomenal person and recruiter. So there's a lot of familiarity. I spent obviously 5 years there. It'll be my first time. No, I was there when I was with the Browns. We played in Heinz Field against the Steelers. It'll be my first time playing Pitt, though.
I was gonna say, what is that, just going back there, me and you?
It's kind of where I got my start with Coach Wanstead. So I spent a lot of time there. I had a lot of good memories there, made a lot of friends there that are still in the administration or, on the staff, in different roles. Like Chris LaSalle in operations is one of the best in the business. That's where I met my wife. So there's a lot of memories there. But it's not about me or me going back. We got to go find a way to win this game on a short week with a group that's, not happy with the way they played. So they're going to be ready to go. And like I said, we have a lot to still play for. We do, and we're excited about that.
Just one more quick one on Dino, actually, I thought of it.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Mike at all over the years, and just what's your relationship like with him, and did the Pittsburgh tie, affect Dino in terms of coming here?
I talked to Mike when Dino was in the transfer portal. He gave me a call, so we did have a really good conversation. I knew Mike from being in the NFL, a ton of respect for him. One, he's a DB guy, head coach, defensive guy, and then obviously I was there at Pitt. But we probably text every week, so we've had really good communication. He's been awesome, big supporter, very helpful. He's excited for Dino to get back there and play. I could tell, and it's cool. He comes to games here and doesn't want to be noticed. I always ask, "What do you need?" He just wants to put a hat on and go sit in the stands with the rest of the parents. He's an awesome guy. Take Coach Tomlin out of it, he's a special guy, and he's sent me some cool messages, and he's been really supportive.
What can you tell us about the quarterback? I was watching him against Syracuse.
Yeah.
He's not the mobile guy that Chiron was. But
No, he's got a lot of arm talent. We looked at him, actually. He was in the portal, and I remember watching his tape. He transferred from Penn State. He actually started against Rutgers and beat Rutgers, and I was actually really impressed with his tape. I think he fits what Coach Cignetti wants to do. He's a guy that you can drop back in the pocket like a pro-style quarterback. The deep play action passes that we know Coach Cignetti likes to run, where he can set deep and throw the ball down the field. I mean, it's pretty similar from what you guys remember. They're going to want to run the ball, and then they're going to want to throw it 60 yards down the field. I mean, hit some explosives, and that's how they play. But he's got a really strong arm. He's young.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only kind of like our guy. He's only first year really playing. So I think the guy's got a bright future. Obviously he came in for Phil, I think, after the Virginia Tech game, and he's played some good football.
With Cignetti, what's that chess match like, where coach's tendencies, they know your tendencies? How do you kind of overthink it but not overthink it? What's that like?
Yeah, I was talking to the defensive staff about that today. I mean, you got to look what he's done on film this year and not think about 2 years worth of stuff that he might do, because then you're going to drive yourself crazy and you're going to coach against too much stuff and you're not going to defend anything. And that's the challenge, right? We're different. We've got a lot of different things that we didn't do when he was here, and it's the same with him. It's more based on the people he has, what personality does he have, how many tight ends does he have, does he want to play with 2 backs, does he want to get an 11 personnel, quarterback, does he have a guy who can run, a guy who can sit in the pocket. But you can't go back and watch 2 years worth of training camp, because you'll drive yourself nuts, and every play you think is good, you won't have enough time on a short week to practice. So my message to them was just be careful. It's got to be more about us, our fundamentals, and then awareness of, what they do well.
okay, good.
All right. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Appreciate it.